Good evening, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? Tonight, do we not have a show? How are you all doing? Mr. Seal, Marie Clary, Marcel Kids, you are welcome and welcome to the live tonight. How's it going, you all that's coming in? Let me know if you all can hear me well, see me well. Please share the live tonight as we start the show. This show tonight will be different, you all, yet inspiring. You know, I love true stories, bringing inspiring stories to the stage and getting you all to see different things from different people. So please share the live, you all, before we bring in our guests. How's it going? Good evening, Mr. Seal. Thank you. Thank you all. I just pulled my hair up. Thank you. Hello, sis Arlene. How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Let me know y'all ready for the show. Let's warm this place up, you all, and get our guest for tonight. At least 20 people watching, you all. Share the live with other people tonight. This is a story of overcomers, a story that many people will need to hear. I know that a lot of us are dealing with personal things. It may not be directly us. It could be a child. It could be a family member. It could be a friend that is dealing with some of these stories that I introduce. And it is all to inspire. It is all to educate. Share it with the youth too. Get some young people watching so that they can know and understand that the decisions we make today can have a major, major effect on us, not just for the rest of our lives, you all. So we must be very careful. So let's get 5 more people on, you all. Let's get 5 more people on before we bring our guest tonight. Mr. Stallion says, "Ooh, sexy wee girl, Miss Haiti 222." So today you all got a chance to attend the graduation for my little cousin. It was very, very nice, and getting the opportunity for the first time to be in the same room with President Aristide. Very, very nice. I shared a short clip there. And we just need more and more awesome guys like that care about the country, the university he has built. It just built me up to want to do so much in our country and make a huge difference. And that guy, no matter what we have to say about people, we judge people by their actions, okay? Hold on. We are ready. I'm ready too. Marie Noog, bonsoir, Marie. Looking beautiful. Thank you, sis. How's it going? Hello, my sister Kay. A blessed Sunday to all. Hello, Marie. Hello, sis. How's it going? Kay Miller. Gloria, good evening, Marie. I pray blessings upon you all. Same to you, my sister. Same to you. Matt Gillum says, good afternoon. You look stunning in great hairdo. God bless you, sister. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Stallion. So sexy. I'm going to start to empty my bank account. Thank you so very much, Stallion, for your continuous love and support of Life in Haiti. Verdi, how you doing, Verdi? Thank you for joining me live tonight. Thank you, Verdi. Love you. So before I give all my peoples a shout out, y'all know I love you all. Suzette Santel, hello, my sister. You're doing such a good job. Thank you all so much. So I'm going to bring on our guest. Share the live, you all. Be open-minded. If you have questions, ask questions, you all, as we get on the show. Hello, Pamela. How's it
Hi,
going?
it's good. It's good.
It is. I will tell you one thing. It's amazing, amazing seeing us right here, right now. Okay.
Yes, it is.
And I don't know, many people may not understand this live tonight, but they will understand it. And I want to give you the stage tonight. Introduce yourself and tell the people something about our guest tonight. Introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Pam, and I am from Texas. I live here now. I'm actually from California. Um, I was in prison for 39 years, and 20 of those years I was on death row. I had two different execution dates. I came 2 days away from my last one. Um, I have an amazing son and a wonderful daughter-in-law and two wonderful grandbabies. I went to prison in 1980 and I got out of prison in 2019. I was 24 when I went in and 65 or 64 when I came home. So I did a lot of growing up in there. Uh, I grew up in and out of juvenile detentions, foster homes. I lived on the streets a lot of my life. I uh, I was addicted to heroin as well as other drugs, and they pretty much took control of my life. Uh, I committed a crime in 1980 of a murder during a robbery, and went to prison. And it's been an amazing adventure since I've been home. I never in my life dreamed I would come home, but I did. And now I'm just trying to learn to take care of myself and uh, be a.
So, so hold on, my sister. Don't give them up because I want us to start from the beginning of your story. Okay.
Okay.
You mentioned how from the beginning you were addicted to drugs. Okay, share the live, you all, because this is to inspire somebody, and maybe this could help someone that is going down the wrong path today to straighten up. So from the beginning, I know you're not from Texas. Okay, tell us a little bit of your life growing up and what led to you getting in that type of trouble.
Well, my mother left my father when I was 9 years old. Um, I come from a very dysfunctional family. When she left my father and my four brothers and me and my sister. And after my mother left my father, she died in a car accident a year later. And my father started drinking a lot. And he ended up sexually abusing me and my older sister. My sister was taken away by one of my aunts and she left me there. So it all turned to me. And um, I told a friend at school what was going on, and she told her mother. Her mother called the police, and they came out and picked me up. After that, I was in and out of juvenile detention and foster homes. I was in 8 different foster homes, and out of 8 foster homes, only 2 of them were any good. Most of them were just in it for the money and not really wanting to care about me or wanting to take care of me. Um, I met a man when I was 13 years old. He was 19 and he was strung out on heroin. And I just fell madly in love with him and wanted to be with him. And so I started shooting heroin with him. I got very addicted, and we started running around and doing burglaries and doing whatever we could to get more money, get more drugs, and take care of our habit. Uh, when I was 16, I became pregnant with my daughter. My man at the time, he went to prison while I was pregnant, and I had my daughter I had my daughter February 5th of 73, and she died June 7th of crib death. And when I lost my daughter, I lost my mind. I started using drugs again. I went into a mental hospital because I cut both of my wrists, and um, so they put me in a mental hospital for 6 months. When I got out of there, I started heroin again. I never wanted to have any more kids. It just about destroyed me losing her. And so my life got really, really crazy. I didn't care about living anymore. All I cared about was getting drugs, and did whatever I had to do to get them. And so I was in and out of more jails, drug treatment programs, everything that anybody said to me to help me went in one ear and out the other. I thought I knew it all. I thought I could do whatever I wanted. The drugs just totally took control. I never had a legal job. I worked as a nude dancer for 3 years. Um, and they paid me under the table because I didn't have a social security I could use. And I never had a driver's license or ID card or anything like that. So I did that for 3 years and was still using drugs and was still going crazy with my life out there. And then when I was 17, I was tried as an adult and sent to prison. And it was a prison where it's nonviolent offenders for drug usage. And I went in there, and when I got out, I started using heroin again. I went back on a parole violation, and they let me out again, and I started
Wow.
doing drugs.
Not to interrupt you, my sister. So before you actually went to prison and did this 39 years, you had already been in trouble to where you had went to prison at least one time.
I went
Yes.
twice. I went the first time for possession, and the second time I went for a violation. So it's a prison called CRC. It's a California Rehabilitation Center, but it's for nonviolent crimes. It's for drug related crimes.
Mm.
And so I went there, and
Wow.
then I just kept, when one of the stipulations when I got out on my parole violation was I had to report to a methadone clinic. So I got on methadone, which made me want to get on heroin again. And it went crazy after
For, for,
that.
for some of my peoples, first you just mentioned that you didn't have an ID, Pamela. You are a U.S. citizen, right?
Yes.
You just did not want to get one, or just was too busy running around.
Well, yes, I was using alias names. Uh, I was wanted by the police, and so I was using different names, and I didn't want to keep using different IDs out there on the
Mm.
streets. So uh, I didn't have one, and I never did have a social security card till I went to prison, and they got me one. I didn't even have a birth certificate, so
Wow.
but I
So,
got all of that.
okay, okay. I know you had co-defendants in your crime because I
Yes.
want to get to partly the 39 years, but who was your co-defendants? And I know you, but I never asked you those personal questions.
Mm-hmm.
Who was your co-defendant? And may I ask, you don't have to be descriptive, okay, as far as what, but were you in any way influenced by co-defendants, or I mean, how did what led to that sentencing?
Well, I left California because I was wanted by the police on a parole violation. I left California with two people that I had just met. One of them was Mike Brittle, my co-defendant, and his wife, Linda Brittle. Um, so we were supposed to be going to Florida, but Mike wanted to stop in Texas to visit some guy he was in prison with. And so the 3 weeks we were on the road together, I didn't know them. I was just getting to know them. Mike had just gotten out of San Quentin prison, and so we had a really hard time out there. We used to fight a lot, Mike and I, his Linda's husband, because he wanted Linda and I to turn tricks at truck stops, and I wouldn't do it. And so we would fight all the time about money. And I had a lot of jewelry when I was on the road. I would sell a lot of my jewelry just to make ends meet, to be able to eat and stuff like that. So when we got to Texas, we met two men, and Mike wanted to rob them. Murder was never ever discussed. So we came here, and he said we were going to rob these people. And in the course of the robbery, they were both killed. My victims were strangled, and Mike had the rope around them and made Linda and I hold the other end of it. He said, "You are both going to be involved in this." I was scared to death. Uh, After the crime happened, we took one of the victims' cars and we went to Denver, Colorado. And a week after we were there, I called the police. I had come off all the drugs that I was on. I had been smoking PCP, shooting heroin, and using methamphetamines on top of it. So I was pretty out of it for that whole week. When I came down and I realized what we had done, and Mike told me that he would kill me before he would ever let me out of his sight, as well as his wife. His wife was pretty blown away by the whole thing also. Um, so when I got away from him, the phone in the motel room, I called the police and went downstairs. The police picked me up. I told them everything that happened. I gave a 26-page confession. They extradited me back to Texas. I was the first one to be tried. Linda and Mike were still in Colorado fighting extradition. Um, so in my first trial, they convicted me based solely on my confession. And then Linda, Mike's wife, uh, turned state evidence against me and her husband. So her husband also got the death sentence. Linda got 5 years probation for turning state evidence, and she went home. She never stayed in jail. And Mike and I both went to death row. Mike was executed in 1995, and I won my appeal because my co-defendant Linda was having sex with my lead attorney, and my appeal attorneys found out about it, and they filed on my attorney for conflict of interest and ineffective counsel. So my case was overturned based on that, and they took me off death row.
Wow, my sister, Jesus Christ. While you were on death row, how old were you when you were sentenced to death?
I had just turned 24.
24. So for the many people who are watching, especially in Texas, okay, and we're not taking anything away from what happened, because definitely what you did was wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and that is clear. And no time, nobody deserves that from anyone, okay? But Texas itself is a very, very, very tough state. How old were you?
I was 24.
And sentenced to death.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How long did you stay on death row? Um,
20,
what
20
was it
years.
like those 20 years? What was it like those 20 years?
It
Waiting.
was.
Well, the and one of the things you can be comfortable because a lot of my people, they know my story, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And hold on one second here. I just realized that my laptop may discharge, okay? Um, what was it like emotionally sitting on death row um for 20 years, Pam? And
It was hard. While I was there, there was 4 females on death row, and I got very close uh, to the girls that I was there with. I got extremely close to one of them, Carla Faye Tucker, and we were like sisters, and we pretty much grew up in there together. We were about the same age, and so we went through a lot together. We went through execution dates together. We went through ups together and downs together. We
wow.
literally grew up in there together, and it was very hard. It was very hard for me to watch my son grow up behind a piece of glass because death row inmates don't get contact visits. So I had to watch my son grow up behind a piece of glass, and that was extremely hard for me.
So during those 20 years, and a lot of people may not know um, about Carla Faye Tucker, but she is one young lady which was sentenced to death who completely changed her life and changed and reached out many others, okay, not just in the
Mhm.
state of Texas, but all over. And people fought to get her a stay of execution, which she did not get a stay of execution, and she actually was put to death. You mentioned about going through execution dates. I know on the unit exactly what it was like when a young lady got a date. And it was just from us living on the unit. Did you have to go through execution dates yourself?
Yes,
Were you ever set to die
yes,
yourself?
yes.
How
I
many
had
different times?
I had 2 different execution dates. My first one, I was 3 weeks away before I got a stay of execution, and my second one, I got 2 days away from my execution before I got a stay. And I was supposed to be executed on Sunday night, and I got a stay Friday morning. So I came 2 days away from that execution.
Man, Pamela, God has been with you, and we're gonna go to the audience. One of the questions that I have, you mentioned how one of the co-defendants, she was sleeping with an attorney or something. How did that information come out? How did that information come out?
Well,
How were you able to get that information?
I had five pro bono attorneys from Baker and Botts, and they were doing extreme research. And during my trial, when he was my attorney, uh, she was spending the night with him at his house. And they found out about it. And when he was questioned and she was questioned, it came out that they were in a relationship. So during the time that he was defending me, he was having sex with the Star State witness against me, who was my co-defendant. And so we filed on him, and the higher court, overturned my case on a conflict of interest and ineffective counsel. And when I got off death row, I filed against him with the state board, and I had him disbarred, so he's no longer an attorney.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it was a hard thing, but thank God they found out the information.
Jesus Christ. Let's go into the audience because I am sure we have some questions and people have some stuff to say. Mr. Seals at Stallion 20 is not enough for your sexy you deeper in your account. Thank you so very much, Mr. Seal, for your continuous love and support of life in Haiti. Marzan, wow, she is lucky. Yes, she is very lucky. Says no birth certificate, December. Wow. Co-defendants, Linda and Mark. Wow. Hello, Mr. Wilson. How's it going? Mr. Jackson says, hello, Marie and the Life in Haiti family. Marie, this is very different, but very interesting. Yes, you are. This is very different. And it is real life. We're getting to the foundation, basically the beginning of her life, but this is not all your life, okay? You actually got the life sentence overturned, okay? And now you were able to be free and be on the unit. And this story, I will tell you, one of the main reasons it encourages me, it is something that many people don't want to talk about. But I know a lot of people are dealing with these type of things within the family. It could be anybody, you all, that they find themselves in trouble, down the wrong path. The thing is, it's always two lost when it comes to a life of crime, okay? But at times, God does have different paths for each and every one of our lives. And it is not about the mistakes we make, but it is what we learn from it, the growth. And this is why I have you on here. Not too many people could survive 39 years. And I don't want this show to be emotional, but I remember many days of us talking, the days that we were fighting for freedom, the days that we were hoping for mail, the days that we were hoping that someone pulled us out for a visit.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to give that family member that love and support to get them to become a part of society, because unless everyone passes away, at some point, that person will be released back into society. And the change start right there within the walls. You got off death row. What was that day like, anyways, when you got that news? Just what was it like sitting there waiting? Did an officer pull you out? Did they call you out to chat? What was that day like?
Well, I got a phone call from my attorney, and my attorney asked me if I was sitting down, and I said, no, I'm standing up. He said, well, you might want to sit down. He said, the Fifth Circuit has just overturned your case and has given the state 120 days to retry you or let you go. And at that point, I was in awe. I was 2 days away from my execution. And, you know, I have to say this, Marie. My the night before I got my day of execution, I was laying in my bed reading my Bible and just trying to have the peace of God to let me know you're going to come meet me face to face, and praying for His peace. And so I was reading my Bible, and I got to Psalms 121, verses 19 and 20. And it said, for God looked down from His sanctuary to view the earth, and to hear the groaning of the prisoners, and to release those who were condemned to die. And the next morning I got my stay of execution. So I knew it was God letting me know He wasn't through with me yet. Probably because He knows I have a hard head and I needed a lot more work done on me. But I knew that God had a bigger plan. You know, just like it says in Jeremiah, God has a plan. And once He sets that plan in motion, no man can stop it. And so I believe God had that plan for my life to maybe do what I'm doing now, just to try and deter people that might be going down that same road I went down, to let them know that there's a better way. That 39 years in prison that I did was a very big growing period for me. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about what I did. I have to realize, you know, the hardest thing is forgiving ourselves. God forgives us. It's forgiving ourselves. So I just thank God that He gave me another chance, and that He showed His mercy and grace in my life. And so now I just want to help other people. And I don't want to get emotional, but
I'm gonna tell you something. I take my people through some changes here, okay? And it's okay. You mentioned how God has spoke to you. God have a way in our lives, Pam. I believe that. I remember when I was dealing with my own immigration stuff, I always ask God for two blessings. Don't let me lose one of my parents. Either one of them couldn't live without each other. But number one, don't let me get deported. I never wanted that INS paperwork. And I remember when I got it and I was fighting for parole, I know we were married together. And I kept a lot of my pains to myself.
mhm.
And when I got that news, I went in my cubicle because I wanted to know, what did God have for me in Haiti? Like, my life would be over. I didn't know nobody here. Here I had been 13 years away from everybody, and he was taking me away again. And he took me to Joshua 1:9. And I stand on that to today. At times I deal with the loneliness, but I know that he had already promised me, fam, that wherever he sends me, he's with me. So some people may look at you and judge you and say, oh, your past is this, because people have a way of weighing what's normal and what's not. They want to weigh in. I just told a little lie. I didn't do this. I didn't, but you still lying. And I thank God today because I can tell you my mistake was simply that. Your mistake was a mistake. It was something that you would not do again, but God does speak. And that is why I want you to be here. And that is why I hope that your story would inspire people. And my goal is for you to go back. I'm in Haiti, so I do Haiti work. But if I was in Texas, I've always said I would go back into the prison and I would minister to my sisters and I would go and minister to my brothers. Because a lot of people write people off because people in the world are so perfect. But I've learned throughout the years that no one's perfect. And some of God's greatest soldiers, I left them behind the walls too. Mm-hmm. Because society have us so distracted. And I realized behind the walls, I built a deep relationship with God. That was when my relationship with God was one of the most solid. But I think I reached out to God a lot more coming into this situation. But in prison was where God took me and shook me up.
Me too.
He took me through the mud to make me who I am today. So don't ever be ashamed by your mistakes. My sister, I just want to thank you. I'll go into the audience. It's wonderful to have you here. Most of all, it's wonderful to see you free. People may not understand, but from where I know God brought us from, I just want to wish you the best, my sister, on your journey.
Thank you. I love you so much, Marie. I remember the talks we used to have, and neither of us ever thought that door was going to open, but God had a bigger plan, and I never dreamed I would get out of prison, but I had a lot of people out here fighting for me, and a lot of people supporting me and wouldn't give up. And although I was accepting the fact that I was going to spend the rest of my life in prison, he had a bigger plan. And I thank God that I'm here where I am today. And I see little questions coming up on the bottom.
Yes, I'll get to them in a minute.
But, you know, God opened that door for a reason. It wasn't for me to come out here and sit on a couch and eat popcorn all day. It was for me to come out here and fight. And I'm going to fight until I can't fight no more for the justice system, the prison system, to abolish the death penalty, and to, you know, I have a friend right now on death row who has a execution date for April 27th.
Lucio, we're speaking on Melissa.
And I will keep trying to fight for her. And I know what those girls that are there with her are going through and how hard it is for them. I just can't stop fighting. I go to the Capitol. I get involved in different places where I can give my testimony, where I can go and reach out to kids that are troubled kids and are having a hard time. And if they were anything like me, what anybody says is still going to go in one ear and out the other because we think we're untouchable when we're that age, you know.
Mhm.
When I got off death row, they put me in population, and after being locked in a cell every night for 20 years, I felt like I was thrown into a lion's den. There was a lot of officers that believed that I beat the system, and they let me know that by the way I was treated. I had
Mhm.
never had a negative thing said to me by an inmate, but I had a lot of negative things from officers, and I just had to stay strong through it, and just I served my time trying to get involved in things that would better me and to help me grow. I got in groups like Bridges to Life, Truth Be Told. I went into the faith-based dorm for 18 months. I
You
went
are
into the
also a
dog
peer
program.
educator.
I was a peer educator for 8 years. Um, I trained dogs for disabled veterans, and I loved my job. I loved being one thing when you can wake up and reach over and pet a dog and know that those dogs love you no matter what, and you're helping somebody. You know, I've met a lot of veterans that have PTSD and have a hard time when they come back from fighting wars, and they're fighting their own war in their minds, and the amazing things that these dogs can do for these veterans. And one little girl got up and said, "Thank you for giving my daddy's back." You know, he was so PTSD that he locked himself in a closet every night. You know, they're in their own fight in their minds. And
Mhm.
so I just wanted to do what I could in prison to better me and to make me a better person no matter what. You know, I went through 39 years of my life. I went in as a child and I came out as an old woman. So I'm just trying to keep healthy and to reach as many people as I can reach by giving my testimony and letting people know that God is bigger and
Always.
that He does forgive, you know, and our
Amen.
job
Always.
is, yes, and our job is to forgive ourselves and to be a better person and to show that forgiveness by showing Him. And that's all I want to do is just be a better person. And, you know, it's not easy. And like I said before, there's not a day that goes by that I don't remember what I did and that I'm sorry for it. Not a day goes by. I can't imagine what I took from those people, their families, the loss that they went through. I seen them in court, and it was the hardest thing to realize the pain and the hurt and the loss that I caused them. And I can't say I'm sorry enough. Sorry is just words. But if somebody could reach in my heart and see the pain that I have by what I caused other people, and I just pray every day that um, they are able to forgive, not for me, but for them and their peace of mind. And so I'm just grateful to be here. I'm so happy to see you again. And
Me too. I love you. You
I
know
love
that.
you too.
Haitian Warrior King says, did you tell them you was forced to take part of the crime?
Not at first. When I turned myself in and gave the confession, I just wanted as far away from those people as I could get. They threatened to, well, he did. Mike threatened to kill me. and that he was never going to let us out of his sight. And that's why he had us be part of the crime and take the end of that rope so that we would have participated in it. So I told the that I did it by myself. And I was probably 95 pounds soaking wet at the time. One of my victims was a black belt in karate. And he asked me, how did you do this crime by yourself? And I just said I did. And they didn't believe me, and they knew I was lying. But all at that time, all they wanted was somebody to solve the crime for them, which I did. And they said that the crime would have never been would have never been figured out or solved had I not turned myself in. So no, I didn't tell them at first because all I wanted was to get away from those people and never wanted to see them again. And I was happy I was in jail.
Wow. So you mentioned your co-defendant. Do you think by justice, okay? Because America has it big, it's what they can prove. Do you think had it been said the information which released you off death row before he was put executed, do you think his life could have been spared too by justice? Do you think that she was probably doing something with the attorney too? And do you think maybe the attorney did not defend him to his best ability?
Well, I know that she testified against him, and I know that the attorney got their marriage annulled because they hadn't even been married for a year. And he got the marriage annulled so that she could testify against him. The thing is she had more to do with the crime than I did. And because she had never been in trouble before, she'd never been arrested before. So they took her word over mine and her husband's. We had both already been to prison. We were both already had a record. So the best one for them to use to testify against Mike and I was her. And so her testimony, even after my case was overturned, she did an interview and told them on the interview that I deserved to die. And this girl had more to do with the crime than I did and never spent a day of her life in prison. And I don't have any hard feelings for her. I don't. I forgave her a long time ago. But for her to sit there and say she believed I deserved to die was kind of a hit, because she knows her part in it. She knows what she did. And she knows that she lied.
A lot of the times what people fail to realize in the justice system is really the first one the police get a statement from, they're gonna run with. Okay. I did 13 years for something that was none of my idea. And this is something that only God can clear you from. But in the end, as soon as the person see the police is involved and their freedom is threatened, they're gonna say whatever it takes to release them. And 99% Texas is going to lean towards them more than anyone else. And as you mentioned, someone without a record, they're going to give them a bigger chance, okay?
Yes.
Mr. Jean says that the state of Texas did not want to retrial an 18-year-old case, so they decided to make a deal with her for a reduced sentence, life in prison, and possibility of 30 years parole in Harris County, Texas.
Well, yes. What happened was when I went back for my trial, because my case was already 20 years old, the DA didn't really know if he could get the death sentence again because of the support I had. I had Warden Plain testifying for me. I had Mike Barber there. I had a lot of support from people. And the case was old, and a lot of the witnesses, they wouldn't have used Linda, my fall partner, again because my case was overturned on her testimony.
Mm-hmm.
So they really didn't have a foot to stand on at that time. So she dropped 2 capital murders down to 2 aggravated robberies, and they gave me life on one and 30 on the other, and it ran together. My life ate my 30, and so I saw parole 7 times, and every time they set me off was for nature of crime and past criminal history, which neither of those will ever change. And one of the commissioners told me, well, Perillo, if you never get out, just thank God you're still breathing. And so, and I was very grateful that I was still breathing, but people don't know the whole story. I could have, you know, blew it all up from the beginning and, told everything that Linda had to do with the crime, but I didn't want her to be in trouble either. All I wanted was to get away from those people. I knew them a matter of 3 weeks, and my whole life was destroyed in that 3 weeks. And I could not believe what I had did. I couldn't. I'm not a bad person. That's not part of my nature at all. So when I came down off all those drugs and I realized what we had done, it was a lot for me to handle too. And so I just did the time that I had and just, you know, left it in God's hands. If He wanted me to get released, then I would be released. And He did. And that's why I'm out here now. Uh, it was a long journey. It was a lot of growing up, and it was a lot of. I was on an emotional roller coaster for 39 years, and I think that everything that I went through just made me a stronger person.
Made you a
So,
better person too. My sister Arlene says, "What happened to your abusive father?"
my father died in '87 of bone cancer. Uh, my dad never admitted to anything that he ever did. And a lot of times when I was growing up, I made excuses for my father. Well, he wouldn't have done that had he not been drinking, or he wouldn't have done that had my mom not left him. And I made excuses for him because I grew up and all I ever wanted was to hear my father say, I love you, or to have his arms around me and hug me as a child and not a sex object. That's all I
Wow.
wanted. And so when I stopped making excuses for him and realized that he was a very sick man to do what he did anyway, then again, I had to forgive. And I was not even talking to him when my father died. And so, I don't know. I just know he had a lot of problems, and thank God I survived that. And again, I don't play on the victim because of what my dad did. I just thank God I survived it all.
You know, being Haitian, I pretty much grew up in a strict household. My parents were not rich with money, but they were rich morally. And when I first got incarcerated, I was pretty much judgmental because, yeah, I was incarcerated, but some of the stuff I would see the girls would do, the way they would behave, It would always like, you know.
Yeah.
But I think God started really working on me when I had the chance to start taking classes. So listen up, you all. At times when we see someone, we're just judging them from their exterior, how they're acting, how they're talking, how they're looking. But I realized one thing I learned from Miss Colbert from Hobby is everything stems, a person's perspective stems from their experience. When I said through bridges to life, and I started hearing some of the horrible stories some of the ladies had went through. And I sat there and I'm like, thank God, because I thought my life was hard, but it was not near that hard. And that is a subject that many people, Pam, they want to shove under the rug.
Mhm.
It's crazy you mentioned, sexual abuse. It is something that at times people don't want to talk about it. It's such a sensitive issue. And a lot of women have dealt with it in some form. And I think the reason why is, I want to say in the Haitian family, it is because one of the things is if it was an uncle, if it was your dad, if it was this and that, you find it a lot of the time where the rest of the family members stand against you, that they don't believe you, or you have the fear of rejection from your own family if you speak your truth.
Mhm.
If you tell somebody what really happened to you, then you become the bad person. You're now the bad guy because now you are either bashing the family or you've let out the cat, the rabbit out of the hat. Some,
Mhm.
But you all that are raising kids, be very, very careful. Um, keep your eyes open. Talk to your child, because a lot of the ladies, and I'm sure even men, have came out with many stories. We don't know why people end up behaving in ways that they behave. And it all stems from pains from the inside that they're holding in, which leads to drugs, and then drugs lead to alteration of the mind, where you do not make full, complete thoughts. And all of that, you see, that is why we have prisons all over the world.
Mhm.
Okay. Somewhere along the line, we're not getting something. So be very, very mindful who we're keeping around our children. Um, talk to them. Make sure that you have a good, open relationship with them. Make it, if they share something with you, that they wouldn't be afraid to share it with you, regardless about who it is. Because once you have that relationship with your child, it is life changing. You could very well be preventing a lot in the future by allowing them to get help, and knowing that somebody really, really care about them in the moment, right?
Mhm.
My sister Caroline Newton says, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm late. Good evening, Marcel Kids. Good evening at Caroline, Lucille Kendall, Marie, love you too, Miss Lucille. That's true. The first one to take a deal get little to no time. That's very, very true. Elaine says, I'm a mother, American, to a daughter, also an American, sitting behind bars, prison in Haiti for 7 years now. Praying and trusting God for her release. The justice system in Haiti is so corrupt. Wow. Prison is not a nice place, but I could tell you, and don't condemn me, you all, for saying this. When I first got to Haiti, Pamela, and I felt I was at my lowest, okay? And I no longer had my dad to run to. I no longer had my savior, and I no longer had a guard to complain or write a grievance on. I felt that I lived better in prison than I did in Haiti. My life was, I was like, why? So I could only imagine what prison in Haiti is like.
Uh,
Thank you so much, Miss Hannah, for sharing. I want to ask you to continue to encourage her to build a relationship with God. Right then
yes.
and there, she need to get on her knees, pray, and God can and He will open doors that man have condemned. If you all follow me, if you all believe in me, those of you who support me, I have been through a lot. But it is all of what I've been through that brought me to where I am today. And maybe it took that to straighten her out. Stallion says, I would love to know the percentage of taxpayers' dollars in Texas that is spent on locking up people compared to other states. I can only imagine. Texas is a very, very tough state. V. Levine, everyone, I am extra late, but still watching, viewing from Jamaica. Hello, V. Levine. How's it going? Haitian Warrior King, did you say you only know them for 3 weeks at the time? Because I be in the courtroom like him, her, yep, she was there too. Like, stop playing. We all going to prison. Like, you'll be in the courtroom saying, yeah, you were there too. But all of that said and done, my sister, what is life today? How are you adjusting? What are some of the simple things what surprised you the most? What changed? I mean, I know,
Well, when
but
I came home, I did not know anything about technology. I had never seen a cell phone. Um, my son had bought me a cell phone, a laptop, a refrigerator, a microwave, and I had all of this in my bedroom. I was living with a attorney friend of mine, her son and husband, who have been amazing for me out here and have brought me through so many things. But um, they had to write me a map on how to turn the TV on. I knew nothing about anything out here. I was uh, scared to death when I'd go in a store. I didn't have a bank account or anything when I came home, and my son would buy me these $300 Visa gift cards so I could spend them. And I didn't know how to do it, how to put it in the machine, and um, how to make those cards work. So I was very embarrassed, and my friend Shannon would follow me around and help me with all the different technology. It's been so amazing out here to see the support that I've had, and uh, just the people that have been there to help me. When I moved in my little duplex I live in now, I can't tell you how many boxes of stuff I would find on my porch with uh, pans and dishes and blenders and crock pots and all this different stuff that people gave me. Um, a friend bought me a brand new bed from Sam's, a great big 48-inch TV in my living room. I mean, people went all out to help me. And uh,
which
one of
lets
my
you know
friends,
there is awesome people in this world.
yes. And then I
And I believe
moved
it's more
in,
awesome people than bad too. It's more awesome people in our world than bad.
yes. Oh, yeah. And the day that I moved in here, my neighbor moved in the same day with me, and we have become very good friends, and she has helped me tremendously. And I just thank God for the people that have been placed in my life. You know, I have ex-parole officers, ex-cops, the mayor, everybody that's really out here helping me and putting me on and telling me what a wonderful job I'm doing, and how they're there to help me in any way. It's just the people that I met and with Shannon and Ron and Lewis. I mean, who in their right mind would meet somebody in prison that's there for killing somebody and tell them that their home is open to you? And that's where I paroled to. And I never would have dreamed that they would say, come live with us, you know, and they have helped me so much. And I'm so, so grateful for all the support that I've had out here and the people that believe in me. Um, I'll be on parole the rest of my life, and I've never been late with my parole fees. I've never given a dirty test. I'm always do exactly what the parole office tells me to do. And I got my parole answer in 2019, and I came home April 3rd of 2019. I got a FI1, which of course for me, that FI1, which should have been 35 to 45 days, it took 74 days for me. And but I've been out
Again, I
since.
was lost in the system.
Yeah,
Do
me
you
too. They
remember?
lost my paperwork.
They
Yes.
lost. They didn't know anything about me being released, and I had a FI2 for what was it, December, and it was
Hmm.
January. I was still sitting there calling home. Like everyone who
Hmm.
had the same answer as me are gone, Mom.
Yeah, me too.
You know, so the state of
It
Texas
took
have
them.
a way.
Yeah, it took them 74 days to give me an answer, and I kept thinking, oh my God, they're going to protest me, or they're going to change their mind. They're not going to let me go. But 74 days later, my son came and picked me up. And I can't even tell you how it felt to get in his car and just drive away and know that I didn't have to look back. And,
Did you look
you know,
back though?
I did. And just to make sure they weren't following us and change their mind or something. But yeah, I've been involved a lot with Linda Strom and Discipleship Unlimited. And so I'm waiting to go back into the prisons with them. And it's going to be an amazing day when I'm able to go back in, knowing
Be
that the
sure you
door will
tell
open
everybody I said
back out.
hello.
Yeah.
Be sure.
And there's still a lot of people that I was locked up with still there. A lot of them have come home. But it's going to be an amazing adventure just to go back in there, you know, and root them on and let them know that there is life
Give
after
up.
prison.
There is.
Yeah.
And everyone will have their day, and it's gonna be all right. I remember when I got released from Gatesville, I had a hold on me. For some reason, during all my rides leaving out of America, I spent the whole time looking back. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I think it was like taking a picture of something because I knew I was kidnapped. And
Hmm.
I knew that somehow I probably would never go down that street again. Or I would not come back to that place. I wouldn't. Wow. But God is good, my sister. And Pamela, I love you. It is good
I
to see
love you
you
too.
free. Someone asked, how long have you been free? I know you mentioned it. You can answer it for them.
I got out in 2019. I've been out almost 3 years.
3 years.
Hmm.
I got out June the 4th, 2019. And you
Yeah.
got out a little bit after me, right?
I got out in April.
April, you got out before me, okay. But I had left you at Murray because I went to immigration. So I didn't
Yeah.
get to see you
Yeah.
go home. I didn't get to see you.
It was an
Um,
amazing day.
did
Everybody
the
in SEG was raising their windows. Bye, Miss Pam. Good luck, Miss Pam. Officer stayed over just to say goodbye to me. It was amazing just to know that I was going home and everybody was rooting me on. So I just enjoyed that day very much. I was just in shock.
I know I know they showed out. You know, I would have came out of place to see you. I would have
Yeah.
went to breakfast to send you away.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing story. And I encourage you to continue to inspire others. Don't worry about the people that's going to look at you a certain way. Know that in this life, okay? If you're not doing anything, someone has something to say. But when
Hmm.
you're doing something, someone still has something to say. I said, whatever you're doing, if it is helping others, it is blessing others, continue on that path. That is why we went through what we went through. It's because God took all of that selfishness, that me, that hard head, and soften your heart so that we
Hmm.
can live and know that I am my brother's keeper. I'm not supposed to hurt people. I'm not supposed to have friends that talk about robbing people. I'm not supposed to have friends who does drugs. Like they, there are certain things, Miss Pam, I would not put up with. I would
Yes.
not put up with drug addicts. I would not put up with people who you can't even come to my house past 11. In Haiti, I'm telling you, if 9 o'clock comes and you cannot give me a good explanation on why I'm going to the gate for you, you will not be getting in my house. I
Hmm.
don't want to deal with you. You know, I live that strict life because I have learned to appreciate life, to
Right.
appreciate people. And that is one of the biggest things my incarceration taught me is
I'm
that
the
life
same
is not
way.
all about me. Yeah, that I
Yes.
must consider people around me. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I'm the same way.
mhm. Is there anything else before we end the show that you would like to close with?
I just want to thank everybody for watching and having an open mind and accepting. It's hard to, just like my set off for past criminal history and nature of crime, none of that will ever change. But I did. I changed. And I just want to help those that need help. And a piece of my heart has been left behind in that prison. And I want to go back in and share the love of God and what God can do. The doors that man closes, God can open. And I just want to thank everybody for you, Marie, for letting me be a part of your show. And I
Anytime.
know you don't have these kind of shows all the time, but I appreciate the people and the questions and just allowing me to share my story and to know that uh, God is good all the time.
All the time.
And hopefully, I'll be back. I'll be able to come again.
Yes, you will, sis. You welcome here anytime, anytime. And I will share what I do. Take it slow. I came out here and God blessed me to be a YouTuber. Sometimes I'm like, why why it's so much that I don't know, but I am patient with myself and I allow myself to do what I enjoy doing and give myself time to learn all that I don't know how to do.
Hmm.
And I ask God to bless me with patient people that can guide me into the woman He wants me to be.
Right.
And that is just how I live out here. I take it one day at a time. I appreciate life. And every day I thank God for being where I'm at. So as I go through Facebook and I see a lot of us from when we were little, we were real young, and seeing us now finally free, and a lot of us doing good, breaking that recidivism, going back and forth. But actually, that group of us that went in there, I don't know if it was the officers, how mean they were. I thank God for every mean officer. I thank God for every officer that wrote me a case when I thought that was the worst thing. Because in all those little things, they all intertwine to today.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
start learning, about things way before you get out here. And you all that are living wherever you're living, you want to pray that the prisons around your community, as they release people, that these people, that God touched them. Because at some point, especially in America, Canada, UK, you will come across people who had previously been incarcerated. They will at some point be your neighbor. So let's learn to be kind, not just judge people from their past. Now be careful, because if that person has not changed, then we find a lot of that. But then we do
Mhm.
have a lot of us, you all, that the years that God took us through the fire and came out not even smelling like smoke.
That's right. That's right.
I wasn't gonna say they weren't the best years, but
No,
they were the best
but they were
lessons.
growing up years. Now,
That's right. That's right. So I thank you, sis, for spending time with me. Um,
mhm.
until next time, we will talk soon. Okay.
Okay. I love
Oh,
you.
I love
All
you
right.
too, sis. Love you too. So I just want to thank each and everyone for joining me tonight. I know tonight you all definitely was different. It is inspiring. I don't ever want to forget where I come from, because it is where I come from that keeps me grounded, that keeps me focused to know exactly where I'm going, and to continue to love, be kind to people. Her story to me is just awesome, because I felt like I just could not make it at a point. And every time I would talk to her, Pam, and I would come across Pam and women like her, and it just gave me that little strength on their pain to continue on my journey. So I just want to thank you all so very much tonight. Y'all know I have several projects, so my peoples, keep up with me. I am everywhere, okay? We got Jacmel. We got the project that is continuing to go on. Exactly what I want Life in Haiti to be, to represent. Thank you all so much. It's been raining a lot. Even throughout the live, it started raining. Was afraid you all couldn't hear me. So the project at Godet start a little bit, because it has been rain. And then you all, for small reasons, okay? So kindly, you all, if you've yet to support the project, and I want to thank each and every one too over the last 3 days that have supported the project. Please share our latest project. This is what Life in Haiti is about, bringing different stories to the table. Pray that you all share it, and to continue to make a difference right where I'm at in my country. Look at God. He thought I was worth saving. Thank you all. You all. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Until next time, you all, tell somebody you love them. Give somebody a hug. Don't take each other for granted. The youths right now, you all, share this with them, especially a troubled youth. For many of you all who do have maybe nieces, children, don't give up on them. Don't let that simple mistake be it. And at times it takes several mistakes for some of us to learn. But don't give up, and know that God can straighten us out. They can straighten that child out. And you'll see greater things, things that you never imagined to come out of them. Thank you all so very much. If you've yet to give this live a like, don't forget, you all, give this live a like. I'll see you all soon. Look out for upcoming content. And I want to share notice a little bit of slowdown before I go. Last week, you all, my editing app, I did not know, and I'm sure, I don't know if I have other YouTubers here, but one of my brothers, he reached out to me to shout out to Check in Effect. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I was working, uploading, and everything was just going out of whack by the time I got it to you all. Well, I realized that my editing app, you all, had to be updated, yada, yada, yada. And thank you to Check in Effect for telling me this, which is what put me behind on editing. So just be a little patient with me. I finally got it taken care of so that this week, look out for content on Tuesday. And I'll see you all here again Wednesday. Same time, different day. Love you all. Good night.